Hey, welcome to HR Happy Hour. You are here at the work break with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Trish McFarlane, you look nice. Tell me why you look so nice. What did you just complete? The project.
I was recording some more videos for HR Tech China, which is coming up September 2nd and 3rd. I'm super, super, super excited about this. You're a speaker. We've got Josh Bertson. We've got Jason Averbook. We're going to have Madeline Lorano and Stacey Harris. We have Chris Hevrilla. We have our friend Francisco Reyes. We have so many great speakers. Perry Timms from the UK is a speaker. I am so excited. This is going to be great. Sarah Morgan, a friend of the show, Kate Bischoff. I mean,
wow.
I could just go on.
I didn't realize there were so many folks involved. That's great.
It really is good. So we have a huge group. I'm the chairperson, and I am in charge of the English-speaking contingency speakers here, and so not necessarily U.S. based, obviously, based all over the world, but we're going to have a really, really good event. And the benefit is that, part of it is virtual this year. So people who may not have been able to experience HR Tech China before will actually be able to experience it. So I'm very, very excited.
There's a lot of promotions for it on WeChat, which is great.
Right?
Every so often, one of them have your picture on it and my picture on it too, which is always kind of fun to see there. But speaking of WeChat, and really, which we kind of were, but I did want to bring up, I'm sure it could be time for me to pull the plug on my Huawei phone.
Are you?
Yeah, well, I don't want to. I love the phone, and I'm also not one of those people who, I don't really care that much about my phone. Like, I want a phone that works and works decently, but I don't need the latest and greatest necessarily. I'm perfectly happy with the phone, except now, like, the legal fights with Huawei and our government are kicking up again.
No.
Like 3 different articles, and I can't understand the conclusion of any of them, whether or not these phones are going to continue to get updates, so I don't even know. And it's starting to get a little wonky. Like, sometimes I get notifications, sometimes I don't. Every so often it just, craps out completely. Man, I dread the idea of phone shopping, though, for some reason. I'm not interested in it. I don't care about it.
I agree. We, along with some other people, bought the Huawei phones when we were in China last year, and when it was still allowed, right? It was still a fine thing to do.
I have to remember my phone like the day before the first set of sanctions against Huawei was published, as I recall.
Well, you know what? It's funny. People are very sensitive about it, whether or not the Chinese government is listening to us on them. And I will tell you, I'm not connected to the Huawei cloud. I wasn't, or to the, any of that. So I wasn't worried about that any more than I worry about our government, right? I'm not saying anything controversial and whatever. So it's fine. But really, I wanted it for the camera. The camera capabilities are phenomenal. And the battery, how they can have a battery literally last like
the phone that's now over a year old, the battery life on this thing is the best I've ever had on any phone. Bar none.
So it makes me mad. It makes me mad at our providers here in the United States. Like, it's possible. It is possible to have phones that have 4-day batteries. And I mean heavily used phones. I would use that phone all the time. And anyway, I switched probably about 6 months ago to the iPhone. I dislike it very, very much.
I'm not an Apple person. I use the 0 Apple products, and we'll not go to Apple. I might go back to the flip phone. I'm starting to think about taking it down a little bit. I have over time, we talk about this occasionally, I have over time really strived, I guess is the word. Look, information overload, right, is a real thing. Zoom fatigue is a thing. I'm don't get me started this week on that, but I have striven to reduce the numbers of ways I can be contacted. I've tried really hard to do that. Right. There was some point in the past, not too long ago, it's a few years now, because I've done a little bit of purging. I think I counted up like 15 different ways of kind of electronic ways to communicate with me. If you counted up all the email addresses I had or have, all the different social networks, all the messaging apps that I have a profile on, your WeChat, your WhatsApp, those kinds of things. So I purged a few of them. There are still too many, to be honest with you. And maybe I'll go I downgrade the phone a little bit and I cut a couple of those things out of my life. I'm thinking about that.
You could. I mean, a flip phone, that's one way to go. I think it's interesting. I went with the iPhone because I love my MacBook Pro, all of that. I love the Apple products. So it's fine. I don't find that it's any worse than my Samsung products I had either. So they're about the same. It's just, I do feel like when all of the dust settles, I want the US phone makers to do some of the things that the Chinese phone makers do, which is longer battery life, and I mean like days long, and then better camera quality.
The Leica cameras on the Huawei phones are amazing. I'm just looking at my phone right now because I'm thinking about the old days when, like, if you were sending a text and let's say, you know, you were saying hi, right? Like that was the first word in your text. You got to hit number 4 like 3 times, you know, to get an H or something like that. I guess could I go back to that? I think I could. I could be able with it.
All right, we'll have to wait and see. Well, what else is going on in the world?
We haven't done a show together in a couple of days, so I saved this one because I wanted to talk to you about it.
Ooh, okay.
Brooks Brothers. We talked about it a few weeks back, or maybe a couple of months ago, right? How to file for bankruptcy among many retailers, especially kind of business-oriented, high-end kind of retailers struggling with pandemic and no one's buying suits, right? Who need the suit right now. They did find a buyer, so they're going to be kind of bought out and kind of rescued from bankruptcy, and that's mildly interesting. But here's the more interesting part, just so I'm bringing it up. They are now on the hunt for a new lead designer. They're turning it all around. So I'm thinking, me, right here.
That's your job.
That's the one I'm going to go for.
Okay.
I think I can.
What would be the edgiest thing that you would do to shake up the Brooks Brothers traditional?
That's a really good question. Now, these are all preliminary ideas. I've not learned to sketch at all. So,
you've given it thought?
Thoughts. What about the super wide ties? First of all, like men's ties, like from the 70s, big, bold, aggressive collars, brighter color palette. Any of that resonating?
No, I feel like they need a line of like businessy at home wear for men and for women. So maybe it would be something that would be less visible, but some sort of, I don't know, like a cummerbund that would have a spot for your phone and for your, you know.
Wait a minute, you have to do a tie and you come back with cummerbund? You know what I think this discussion proved? I don't think either of us are qualified to be the Brooks.
I don't think we can be designers.
That's a good point, though. I've seen quite a few, like I follow quite a few like style and design kind of sites, and there's definitely some.
I got it. Okay, so today I'm wearing. It's actually oddly, it's who am I wearing? You didn't ask me who I'm wearing. I'm wearing Vineyard Vines. I'm wearing Vineyard Vines, and it looks like a blouse, right? It's got a little ruffling going on or whatever and tapering, but it's t-shirt material. So I think Brooks Brothers could do a little bit of that. It could be like a t-shirt where like from the front, it might look more like a polo, like a men's polo. And then when you're done, you just turn it around and it's a regular t-shirt.
Nice. Yeah, well, I was about to say, I've seen like quite a few designers that are kind of hitting that work from home market or that work from home marketing angle to try to, like, obviously I didn't do today, but like we've talked a couple times on the show, like I've got a closet full of shirts to change into depending on the quality of the people I'm talking to, or, you know, and their relative importance in my life and whether or not I feel like
I've got it. Coordinating tie, pocket square, mask combos.
That would work. That could work. Let's move for that. Yeah, I like it. They're all making masks too, all the designers. I mean, yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess I'll work on it more. I'll figure out how to draw something, which I've never really done. I've got some ideas. Or I could go full, like my other idea, Trisha, you didn't like the first one, was full Mad Men, Don Draper, 1962, skinny tie.
Yeah.
Go all the way back to that. Try to bring that back. I saved skinny ties from the last time they were in style too, so they come back. I'm all set. That's my one strategy with menswear: is never throw out a tie, ever.
That's probably a good one.
They come back around. Although now I'm not kidding with you, Trish. I probably have 65 neckties. I've worn one in the last 6 months, so not really sure that's.
You know what? Could you wear one tomorrow? Even with your T-shirt, I feel like you should bust out a tie.
All right, I'll figure it out. I've got like wall to wall these Zoom things for like a couple more days for various reasons.
Just show up with a random tie on with a T-shirt and don't say a word about it. See if anybody mentions it to you.
Nah, nobody cares. But sure, I'll do that. I'll do that.
All right. Well, I will let you go for today. Thank you, everyone, for always watching, listening, all your thoughts, ideas, tweets. We love it. Keep them coming, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.